Okay, so let me go ahead and just say this up front. This is not the video you probably want to hear, but it's the one you need to hear. I'm watching this documentary on the Tillman story. Pat Tillman, guy who was killed by his own boys, his own guys, and and all the cover ups and the lying that happened and all this other bullshit. And you know what? I look at these comments. This was released on October 9th of 2020. Like I say, MGM is releasing all these movies for free. I'm not saying that to shill. I'm just saying that more as a potential, you know, way to turn people around and show them what this system is about. You know, and showing how much these generals lied, how these folks, didn't give a fuck. They weren't scared. They just started shooting, which is how the military is. You got a bunch of niggas who want to go out and shoot folks. Excuse me for saying the N word. I've tried to really been careful about that, but still, you're dealing with young motherfuckers who want to go out and shoot. What makes the green grass grow? Blood, blood, bright red blood. I remember that when I was in the army. You're dealing with young kids who want to improve themselves. They want to blow shit up. They want to pay for college. All the same old bullshit that people have been saying for years, decades. You know. But you see that Pat Tillman got his head blown off by a 50 cal by him saying, "I'm fucking Pat Tillman." And I look at these comments underneath this video, and I see people who know that the system is corrupt. There's some people who are like, I'm just going to become a police officer, but there's enough people who say this system is bad. This system is corrupt. And what little solace you have, that's what we get. So no matter if you're whoever the fuck you are, if you want some sort of redacted, you can fit in your own word for redacted. I'm not gonna be that stupid. But I will say is that if you really want something to happen, if you really, I'll just put it in a more positive way. If you really want change, you show people a documentary like this. And of course, there are going to be people who are going to be stubborn. They're going to be like, nope, 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 it's not true. I still love the military, and fine. But I guarantee you, you show them a documentary like that, or you show them, the lies. You don't have to talk about all, the imperialism of the U.S. Yeah, okay. But that's not going to change people because they don't give a shit about that. Show them what happened to Pat Tillman, though. Show them about the lies of how many people died, the lying about the coffins and all that stuff. Show them that they don't give a fuck about you. When you do that, then you have people that are on your side. This is how you red pill the normies. Because I know there's a lot of cope of folks that say, oh, a civil war isn't going to happen. Oh, secession isn't going to happen. They're going to attack stuff. Yeah, probably not. You're probably right. But guess what? If you want some sort of little bit of change, you can't just be a spurgy ass nigga on YouTube. All right? I'm saying that now, knowing that I'm a spurgy ass nigga on YouTube. Or on Twitch, or on D Live, or Trovo, or Odyssey, or whatever site it is. You can't just be a spurg and think you're going to change people by being online. You got to show them stuff like this and then say, you think that they care about you? If you think it's just the military, ease them into it. You know, this is the way you do it, in my opinion. You don't fuck around and try to, you know, talk about Stalin or, start playing, some Stalingrad music or something like that, or whatever. But you start with this. I'm speaking from a Americentric point of view. Is, you know, is getting people on your side. So if you're an American citizen, you know, and you want to get people, if you really want change, if you see yourself as somebody that wants change, I'll put it this way. You're going to have to find these people and bring them in. And, that silver lining for me is seeing these comments and seeing these folks who say that, yeah, they plan to kill Pat Tillman. They plan to kill him. And like I say, you can turn that a little bit in in a different direction. If you're good at propaganda, and if you're good at winning the hearts and minds, as people have said, there are thousands of families who were lied to, often how their loved ones died. Yep. The generals literally sound like three teenagers getting in trouble. Points out that the military celebrated Tillman's sacrifice but did not want the media to communicate the deaths of the common soldier. Yep. And once again, there was a Afghani soldier who was killed as well. Where I'm sure that wherever that gentleman was from, I hate to be an ignorant, but I'm an ignorant American. Not even the military gave a shit enough to tell us what his actual name was or anything else. But yeah, here we go. It doesn't end, Mr. Tillman. Look at what's going on now in 2020. Just more proof. No matter what party or line you stand on, if you are in the 1% or at the top, you are untouchable, and they don't give a shit about you or me or anyone that can't further their agenda. And like I say, that's some old sort of, like I say, that's like 2011 sort of stuff, but still, to me, this gives me hope to say, look at what these folks are saying. What was done to this family was nothing short of criminal. That's what makes me despise these warmongering presidents we've been foolish enough to elect. The Bush administration chose to throw Pat's family under the bus by lying and using this tragedy to recruit other individuals whose families would possibly be put through this ordeal. And like I say, I've been a negative person a lot of my life, but to me, this is positive because you see people getting upset. And to me, if you want to prevent, hell, you know what? Let's even downgrade it even more. If you don't want change to this country, how about just not going to war in Iran, which I don't want. I don't want to go to war in Iran. We got enough troubles as it is, man. So if you want to try to, push people in that direction to say no, call up your congressman and say, I don't want to go to a war with Iran. Or call up whoever. And I know that's simple sort of bullshit, and they're just going to send you a letter. I did the same fucking thing. But guess what? Build up enough strength and get that group of people that are willing to create a real anti-war movement. Then, hey. So to me, people have, like I say, maybe I'm starting to sound like these, these bread tube folks or whoever, these ANCOMs, but it's like, people have to grab legacies and take it for their own and say, yes. I hate to say it like that, but I'm just going to go full on propagandist here. If the left were more intelligent, they would be screaming up and down right now to say, remember Pat Tillman. It's that simple. Remember Pat Tillman. Remember how he died. If you think that's not going to happen in Afghanistan, it's already, if you think that's not going to happen in Iran, you got another thing coming. And find a way to do that, to get these wars stopped. But instead, you have these lefties out here who are like, well, actually, we need to stay in these countries because of my power vacuum, even though we just left Vietnam because North Vietnam, the NVA was right at our fucking doorstep in 1975. I mean, realistically, the U.S. Army had pulled out by 1971 and Vietnamization had happened. But it's like, still, we're making deals right now, at least according to what I saw with Caleb Maupin, that we're supposed to leave Afghanistan and the Afghani government is going to do peace with the fucking Taliban. So we're breaking bread with the Taliban at this point. We admit that this is a fucking failure. We're just on the, we're on the beginning of that fall, man. Like I say, it's the same type of thing when, you had, these mercenaries, these the Goths and the Visigoths and, I'm trying to think of it now, but basically the German pagans who were, mercenaries of the Roman Empire. And, they started to be like, yo, this is some bullshit right now. And, you had these breakoffs happen. This is going to be a long, hard struggle. But to me, this can be the beginning of getting rid of the U.S. empire. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to, this could be the beginning of the end. And for me at this point, I'm happy about that. I am. I'm happy about that. I'm upset to a point, but it's like, look, I wasn't born, in the 1950s when everything was nice and rosy and ooh and ah, it wasn't even that. But that's the image that's portrayed, I was born in 1985, and for me, for the most part, I've had a fairly sheltered life. But we know that something's got to happen. You can keep on lying to yourselves and say that nothing's going to happen, or we're just going to get in the pod incel. But something's got to change somewhere. This system can't even get you can't believe that we're going to have some authoritarian thing versus, to me, this system is going to collapse far more quickly than people are scared to death. The folks at DC are scared to death of another uprising. They're talking about keeping the National Guard in Washington, D.C. because they did the cops did such a lousy fucking job, man. Some of them were in on it, supposedly, allegedly, but still. So we see this shit happening, And who's going to carry the torch? That's really what it comes down to, doesn't it? As I said earlier, we see the left in general, and they're like, well, actually, it was okay what happened in that we bombed Syria, for these non-state actors. A lot of them were. There were some dedicated Marxists, people like, and I know Richard Medhurst isn't one. You can feel as you want to about him, but yeah, he said that was bullshit, obviously, because he's Syrian. But still, there are plenty of folks who are mad as hell about it. But the bigger name folks who call themselves left-wing or call themselves anarchists, it's always the anarchists, isn't it? They always support the bourgeoisie. I think even Lenin was saying that. Lenin was right. These anarchists are nothing but tools of the bourgeoisie. Same thing, like I say, with Finished Bolsheviks video. We saw the anarchists working with, the expat, white army officers and all that business, right? All the syndicalists and all that bullshit. I'm sure Edmund Goldman was involved too somewhere. So think on that for a minute. But ultimately, be happy. Because if you use this propaganda, if you use the image of Pat Tillman to say, look, you think that's not going to happen again? Or you think that, you think that was a tough sacrifice, that he was killed by his own people, that he was killed by his own fellow Rangers? Then you better stop war. You better stop these wars. We can't even conquer Afghanistan. We can't even get rid of the Taliban. What makes you think we're going to get rid of, the IRGC? The Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps? No, they're going to be hiding in the mountains. It'll further bolster their cause. And to think Russia won't get involved, you bet your ass they will. It's right next to their territory. Don't give me that bullshit. You look up, there's the Black Sea right there. Anyways, I went on for a long time, man, talking about some stuff, but find that silver lining. When people get down and say, oh, we need more people on our side and this and that, learn what people see as martyrs and say, why did they have to die? Or find something that will tug at their heartstrings to bring them to your cause. You know what? I hope y'all enjoy that. So see you later and goodbye.